So today we're going to change the oil. Chevy Cruze LT. Pretty simple process, but we'll walk through the steps. First, I got all my stuff together. There's a pan for the used oil, a little thing to scoot under the car, and then over here I got the jack. It's a couple funnels, gloves, the oil filter, ratchet, and this little guy is a special size socket that goes on top of the oil filter. This one is top mounted inside the engine. We'll go through that a little bit, and just some regular sockets to get to the drain pan. I always have a rag with me, just clean up any spills or any messes, and I always put the cardboard under there because I don't want to get oil all over my driveway if something happens, something spills or whatever. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the hood, which if you come around inside the car, you come down here, there's a looks like a engine hood. So you just give that a pull, walk back around the front, and then under the hood, feel in there, there's like a little latch in there. I don't know if you can see it, but just push it over, lift up, and then you just take that little bar there, put it up, and it clicks in right in that spot. Now that the hood's up, I'm going to jack up one side of the car. That'll just give us enough room to get underneath there to access the pan. When jacking up the car, you get down underneath here, and you can see this little spots right in here, and that's where I'm going to put that jack. I'm going to jack it up as high as I can. I'm going to put this jack stand underneath it as well, just in case the jack fails or something. You don't want to be under there and the car comes down. So remember, always safety first. All right, so the car is all jacked up. Got my stand under there. I always take the handle out just to make sure someone doesn't walk by accidentally trip on it, or you just never know. So next thing I'm going to do is put my pan, put it on that cardboard we had earlier, and I'm going to slide that under the car. As we get under here, we're going right here. So I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. But this is our pan. This is where we're going. That's the bolt we're going to take out to drain the oil. And so I'm going to get the sockets and everything together, and we'll start taking that out. Alright, so I'm under the car. I kind of pushed the pan off to the side. Now it's a good time to get your gloves on. This bolt is a 10mm bolt, normal thread. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. And so I'm just going to put my socket on there. Just start loosening it up. Then usually, after you get it broke for the first time, it'll start moving my hands. So I'm going to move the drain pan over. So that's under there, and unscrew it. It comes off. That's why you want your gloves. Got it all over, and I just take the glove off and I get oil all over me. So I'm gonna let that drain, and I'm gonna start doing some work up at the top. So while it's draining down below, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna get the oil filter. Little side note: on top of the oil cap, it'll always tell you what oil you want to use. So for the Chevy Cruze LT, it's a 5W30. You could go synthetic or conventional. I usually get the cheapest one, to be honest with you. I get the conventional, and as cheap as I can find it. So the oil filter is right down here. Let's see if we can get a good angle at it. It's right in here. It's right there where my finger is. So it's kind of focusing on it now in the background here. It's right here. So what that takes is a 24mm socket. I happen to have just one that I like to use on it. Now it's in a tight spot. So I usually put the socket on here first. So my socket's all loaded on there. And then take my wrench. I get my wrench and snap it on there. So now that that's snapped on, make sure you turn, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Give it a turn, start cranking it off here. It's loose, so I'm going to pull this off, set it off to the side. Another little note, I like to keep a Walmart bag or Home Depot bag, whatever, plastic bag around. Just, you know, when you pull it out, there's going to be oil, so you can quickly just set it right here and avoid, you know, spilling oil everywhere. So I'm going to hand do the rest and pull the cap off. There's our cap. I'm going to reach in, grab filter. So there's our filter. Filter is out. We'll replace it with the new one, and we'll replace the cap. We also are going to replace this little washer that is right here that goes around here. It's best to replace it every time because you want a good seal. You don't want it to get dry or cracked or something, and then, you know, end up with more problems. Chevy Cruze LT. It uses, if you go for Fram, it's an FF10246. If you go to the store and you're picking it out, there's also some that are like PH 10246. The 10246 is your Fram number. The FF is the type of filter. So this is the Force version. There's other versions. Some are cheaper, some more expensive. Just get whichever one you want. I usually, again, I go with the cheapest one because oil filter is an oil filter, in my opinion. So inside that box, you get the filter and you get the new O-ring. So we'll take our O-ring here. To take the old one off, I usually just get a small screwdriver, kind of wedge it under there, up and around, and I'll throw it in my plastic bag. Here's the new one, same basic thing. Get it started on there, kind of pull it like a rubber band, and it comes right off, or it comes right on. So those two things are done. So now we just need to put in our filter, and we'll be done. So you can kind of see on the top here, there's these little tabs, and in the bottom of this, you'll see that there's those. So that comes in, clicks right in, so it won't come back out. So now this can be just a little tricky. There's a hole on the bottom of it, and if you can see in there, there's a little bit of the filter that sticks out, and that pushes the oil up through and then through the filter. Just kind of get it in here, line it up, lined up, and we'll start hand tightening it on. And then once it starts getting a little hard, grab the ratchet, and again, I usually take it off, put it on there, make sure I'm going the right way with it, hook it on, and crank it down. Now you don't want to make this thing so tight that you'll never get it back off. It's just tight, and then a little extra oomph, and off. Now you got your new filter on. So now that the filter's on, you know, this is where the oil's going to go. So our oil's going to go in there, but first, let's put the drain plug back in. We're back underneath the car. You can see the hole is right here, where my finger is. And it's just a little itty bitty drip, which means that we're pretty well drained out. So what I usually do is I push the pan out of the way, grab a rag, wipe it off, and then grab your drain plug, put it back in, do it by hand, and once you got it hand tight, grab your ratchet again. On and make it tight. Now you don't need to crank it super hard, but so it's tight, and then just one little extra oomph. Now your drain pan is plugged up. I'm going to roll out from underneath. And pull my stuff out. And now use oil, slosh them around. So now, last step is to fill it back up with oil. So as we saw earlier, I need SAE 5W30. SAE 5W30. It'll take 5 quarts. Let's open it up here. Then just to help avoid spillage, I'll use a funnel, kind of hold it there, and just start pouring it in. So we filled it up with the oil. Just put the cap back on. Clicks right on. Now while you're in here, it's always a good idea to go ahead and check your windshield washer fluid. I got some in the garage, so I'll fill that up. That's right here. Just look for your little, it's like little wipers, water spraying up. Doesn't hurt to also look at your coolant levels, which are right here, your brake fluid, just kind of checking all that stuff to make sure that everything is topped off. Okay, now, since that is all done, I will generally come over and I'll move this oil, pour it right out of the spout, on my pan. I put a rag in there because the lid broke, and just to take up excess oil. And I'm just going to grab my funnel, I'll pour this in this jug, and then I'll take this jug to anywhere you can dispose of oil. Usually any auto parts store. I think Walmart does it. I usually have a AutoZone not far from me, so I just go there and I drop it off even if I don't buy it there. So I'm not going to throw it away. Let's be good to our environment. I need to put the car down so I don't need it up anymore. I'm going to take the jack out, grab my handle, slowly relieve the pressure so the car comes down. Put all this stuff away, and I will show you how to reset the oil life here in a few minutes. So after you do all the oil change and stuff, it's always a good idea to double check how full you are. So right here is the oil dipstick. You take it out, take your rag, wipe it off, wipe it clean. Stick it back in, and you pull it out. That's going to tell you where your level is. So just kind of look to where the bead is. On mine, it's right up here, which is right where I want it to be. So I'm going to wipe it off, stick it back in. Another note is when you pour that old oil back into the 5-quart jug, you're not going to get 5 quarts of oil. It burns off over time and throughout. So I don't know if you can see the level. It's right on here. It's just over the 4-quart mark, which is pretty good. I have another car, an old Dodge van that I'm going to change the oil on here in a little bit, and I'll probably get 2.5 quarts out of it. It burns a decent amount of oil. I don't usually have to put oil back in throughout the cycle, but it's just something to be conscious and aware of, that you will not get it all back out. So after you change the oil, I'm back in the car now. I'm going to reset the oil engine life. So all you got to do here is put your key in, turn it to on. It'll do its little checking here. See, change oil soon, light. And then there's this little stick off to the side here that you can see. And if you press the menu, come in here, and on top it'll display all this stuff. You kind of go through it. You just turn the thumb wheel here, you turn the wheel, and it'll go through. You cycle through till you find the engine, remaining oil life. I'm at 0%. I let it go a little farther than I probably should have. Then you come over here and you just press the button on the end. If I zoom out a little bit, as I press it, are you sure you want to reset? Scroll up to yes, hit the button again, and it's reset. They recommend every 5,000 miles. If you accidentally reset it, just try to pay attention to your mileage and get that taken care of. Now that that's all done, oil change is done, I'm going to turn the car off, and still do it again in another 5,000 miles.